Growing up, I had dreams and aspirations, but always felt like the kid that didn't fit in. For the most part, I wasn't a bad kid, but when I made the transition into adulthood, I turned to the streets for guidance. This led to getting locked up in juvenile hall, doing time in CYA, and eventually a 120-month sentence in federal prison. I had a lot of time to think and reflect during my federal sentence, so I share with you what I learned, hoping I can positively influence someone else's life with Prison Talk. What's up, everybody? Big Herc, fresh out, and you tuned into another edition of Prison Talk. We appreciate you guys subscribing and supporting the channel. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button if you haven't, and also check out our website, which is FreshOutSeries.com. You guys can subscribe to the website, leave a comment, and check out some of the dope apparel we have available. Also, we'll be at the Warped Tour in June 21st in Pomona. So come and check us out. We'll have a tent there. The Vans Warped Tour in Pomona, June 21st. Come holler at us. We'd love to see you. We're going to be doing a meet and greet, and we should have some cool giveaways. So look forward to seeing you. Want to talk about something that was in the news not too long ago, and it has to deal with the homie Kanye West. Yeah, would Kanye be getting his wig split if he was in the pen making comments like that? The answer is yes. When you act high and mighty as a black person around other black people who maybe don't have the opportunities and the mindset you have, you kind of appear to be somewhat egotistical, uppity, coonish, and it's not going to pass. It's not going to fly. You know, Kanye, what he said about slavery being a choice for 400 years, I couldn't believe that came out of his mouth. You know, I used to really like his music, and coming from Chicago, I would imagine that he's seen enough poverty among the black community to know that a lot of those people are just in a situation where they're trapped. Even if they're bused to a school in the suburbs, or spending weekends with people outside the local community, when they go back, they got to deal with everything that's around them. So you're almost playing survival to live. It's not like you have the luxury or the freedom to move and maneuver and act on a lot of your ideas and goals. You know, people do make it out. People do overcome tremendous adversity, and Kanye's been one of them. But to go back and say that, you know, black people, you know, he tried to clean it up and say it's a mental slavery thing going on. I think that a lot of black people are just lacking, for one, black role models, for two, resources, three, education, you know, and a non-hostile environment in which to take advantage of that education. You know, it seems like there's a simple solution, but there's no simple solution. You know, I had blacks when I was in the pen, because of the way I talked, the way I carry myself, they assumed that I was an uppity nigga, or I didn't like other blacks, or whatever the stupid ass reason was. Well, for one, my mom was black. She taught me how to talk. My grandmother taught me manners, and I learned how to articulate myself at a young age, even though I had a lisp. You know, so I knew how to talk when I was around the homies, also with that type of slang, but for the most part, I carried myself in a professional, more of a dignified manner, and that offended some people because of just my presence in general. So guys used to ask me, "Oh man, what are you in here for?" Bank robbery. "Oh man, did you use a note or a gun?" Gun. "Oh, did you go in there and take it over, or did you just point the gun, and what happened?" These niggas want a full explanation. Yeah, nigga, it was a takeover. People got on the ground, high-speed chase, you know, helicopter, spike strip, the whole nine. Oh, okay, my nigga, all right. Now, that's all a test. If I would have said I was in there with a note or I was in there for credit card fraud, niggas would have been coming after me. They would have been trying me thinking I'm a soft ass nigga. So, you get it even when you've been to the pen. And I've done the most gangster shit in the world. And I'm not trying to brag about it. And I know a lot of motherfuckers trolls like, oh man, blah, blah, blah. Well, nigga, tell your story. Tell your story. Shut your mouth then. And, share your experience so you can try to help some of these youngsters so they can understand that there's life outside of that. And what Kanye has to realize, he's in Calabasas. He's got resources. He's traveled to France. He's hung around these fashion designers. Niggas got access to things that most regular people dream of. And yet he thinks that people are supposed to just go along with his rants or, endorse him because he's Kanye. It doesn't work like that, man. You got to stay humble. You got to stay humble. And I'm telling you right now, I understand as far as, spreading love around the community and trying to help people. But then again, you got motherfucking demons out there. And I've seen them. And a lot of these motherfuckers will peel your cap. So, you got to have a balance when you're trying to reach the people. But at the same time, you can't put yourself in a position where you say things and do things and you alienate people. And I know, I know, there's black people that I did time with and people that I met on the street that I don't want to have shit to do with. And just because they look like me doesn't mean they're my people, because they don't have my best interests. So one of the things that black people as a community have to understand is that you can't help all black people. Not all black people want to elevate. And if you elevate beyond a certain point, they get mad at you. So it's kind of like a fucked up double-edged sword where you want to try to empower the community, which, to an extent I think Kanye was trying to do. But at the same time, you can't just say that everybody in the ghetto is there because they want to be there. A lot of people don't want to be there. You got a lot of smart kids, a lot of parents that are working 2 and 3 jobs trying to get their family out of the ghetto, out of the hood, so that they can give provide a better opportunity and give their kids a chance at something beyond what they've accomplished. I get it all the time, man, with this channel and with my other channel, Big Herc 916. People say negative shit, and I don't understand how you can even say anything negative about what we're doing here. Somebody said something about, oh well, you're trying to be a tough guy and you're doing the same thing all the other internet gangsters are doing. I'm not an internet gangster. I lived a life and it is what it is, but I'm not an internet gangster. I don't get on here hoorahing and trying to throw people's name under the bus or put mud on people. I just kick reality. I share my experiences and try to open up the minds of people who maybe are closed-minded so that they can, make better choices. And, being in a position in which Kanye is in, he has so many resources, but when you're around this just fantasy world in which he lives in, I mean, sometimes you can lose touch with reality, man. And his reality is not the reality for most of the people who are out here. I know whenever I see a police, I automatically, my body language changes. I know that if I have a confrontation, as far as get pulled over or interaction, I have to be on my best behavior because they're scared. They're intimidated. They automatically see me and, big black guy, and it's going down. And so I know what it's like to be under the gun, to be under the radar. And then I also know what it's like to be in an interracial relationship because my wife is white, my stepdad's white, and my sister is married to a white guy, and I have white brothers and sisters. So, people say stupid shit, oh, stick to your own race. Man, there is no your own race. because my own race is just people who think like me. It has nothing to do with skin color. That's where people get the game fucked up. So black people, for one, need to realize that they're kings and queens and that they shouldn't be treating each other like that. And for two, we gotta, you look to history and people say, oh, well, that's in the past. No, man, if it wasn't for Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Stokely Carmichael, a lot of these, different people who stood for our rights, we wouldn't be able to do the things we're doing right now. We would still be getting punked. We still wouldn't be able to go to these colleges and, get equal, somewhat of equal pay and have the opportunity. So you got to pay homage to these people. And if a lot more youngsters knew about where their history came from and, Mesopotamia and a lot of these different places in Timbuktu in Africa and what they had in these temples and how they lived, they would have a higher sense of self-esteem. When you know you come from something, you believe you can accomplish something. And that's what needs to be taught in the black communities. They need to get rid of those fucked up history books with all that bullshit like these Europeans made America, and really put some real shit up in there so that kids know that they are important and that they contributed to society. Half the shit they say that these Europeans invented was stolen from the black man. That's real talk. So Kanye, I get it on one end where you were trying to go with it, but you would get your wig split in the pen talking like that, and you can't alienate your people, man. You got to embrace your people and watch what comes out your mouth, man, because you have a very powerful platform, brother, and you got to use it wisely. Holler at me, man.
Lockdown's over. Get your yard time in. Exclusively at FreshOutSeries.com.